Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
The number one seed in the South, Marquette, the number two. I've been told again, Tyler Kolek will be good to go, and he's pretty close to 100%. We'll see how effective he is. And then you got Kentucky as the three, Duke four. Now, traditionally, you look at that and say, man, that is a brutal bracket. And I will say to you that I think Kentucky got the easiest draw of anybody. I think, again, you look at their first round game against Oakland, their second round matchup against Texas Tech or an NC State team that, frankly, it wasn't anywhere near the tournament a week ago. Then you might have Marquette with Kolek's injury, or Florida with Micah Hanlogan's injury. He went down for the season in a absolutely terrible leg injury earlier today. So I just think this thing, man, I've said it already. I think it's easy for Kentucky. Now, easy, I'm putting the word easy there with a young team. So I know they could end up losing. But I'm looking at it, I'm saying, like, they're heavily favored. They have so much more talent than any team they're going to face other than maybe Duke. And obviously Houston's scary. What's the game? We'll start there, McCall. What is the game that you are looking forward to seeing the most? For me, it might be Nebraska, Texas A&M.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one. I think the Wisconsin James Madison game too. Wisconsin, when they got all the way up ranked to sixth in the country, and then it just didn't go well from there. And all they did going into the Big Ten tournament, when we were all counting them out, and I was one of them. Like I never thought that they would win the Big Ten tournament. I just thought that this was a team that kind of peaked at the beginning of February and then couldn't figure it out coming down. But sometimes you need to go through those struggles. And I said this on SiriusXM this morning. In 2006 on that Florida Gator national championship team, that team was 10-6 in the league. Like they went through some adversity that they needed to go through in order to go on a run to win a national championship. So I want to see how Wisconsin plays against James Madison. I want to see that game because they made a statement in this Big Ten tournament like, hey, we are a top 10 team in the country. Look what we just did. And we knocked off the big boys doing what we did. And we're going to show you. So, but James Madison's good. And James Madison played their conference tournament with a chip and an edge on their shoulder. Like, look, we know App State won the regular season, but we're also the team that beat Michigan State early on in the season. Mark Byington, unbelievable job. So that's the game for me because I want to see if Wisconsin is back and are they for real? Like, are they back? Can they get to a Sweet 16? Can they knock off, Duke in the second round? Like I'm very intrigued by that 5-12 matchup.
Henson, what do you got?
I'm with you, Coach. That's another one of those 30-win teams, and like I said, I don't care who you are. If you win 30 games, you're a good team, and they kind of fit the profile. They kind of fit like the FAU. They won a bunch of games early, faltered a little bit in league play, and then ended the season on a crazy win streak before getting to the Final Four. Like they fit that mold of FAU last year, so that's a scary team. To be on that side of the bracket, and even the A&M Nebraska game, depending who wins that game, I think those two teams are teams that could give Houston a run for their money, only because I always say this, I hate the pace of play Houston plays at. They have the athletes and the talent to play a lot faster, which would put them in a better position not to get upset instead of these low possession games that they play, even though they defend their tails off. But those are the two games I'm looking at, Nebraska A&M and James Madison. And I think James Madison fits that magical run profile that they can go far.
Our final four picks, by the way, are presented by Vaulted. Store your predictions now and forever on the Vaulted app. It's VLTED. Make sure you go in there. And again, this is the best place that you will always remember because I can't remember who I picked a year ago. I mean, honestly, I can't. And now to be able to go back and see, like, did I get it right? I tell everybody I got it right, but I probably didn't.
I think I picked FAU to the Final Four. I think I got that right.
There's no way you did. There's no way in hell you did. Who do you got? Who do you got coming out of the South? I have Kentucky. I have Kentucky just because, again, I looked through it and I'm like, I don't know who they're going to lose to. You know, even Houston guys. I love Houston. I just saw them a couple times, and I just worry about them being so banged up right now up front. Juwan Roberts could barely move, and they're so reliant on their three guards. And Shedd's a stud. Like, he's like Fred VanVleet meets Brunson, like intangibles, toughness, all that. Doesn't look the part maybe physically, but I just think there's probably too much on him and Cryer. And if Emmanuel Sharp doesn't play well, and none of them played well against Iowa State. I mean, they were blitzed. And I wonder how that, Henson, how does that affect your psyche at the end of the year when you get absolutely run out of the building in the Big 12 title game in a game like that? Do you think it affects them in the tournament or no?
Well, you know, I think about when we lost. We didn't lose in the championship. Well, we did lose in the championship to Duke my sophomore year. My junior year, we lost to Florida State early in the AC tournament. And that fear and that kind of humble pie made us like come into the tournament like we were almost scared to death, right? Like we were focused, we were locked in, we played hard. I think we won our first 2 or 3 games by 15, 20 points. We played Vermont and we played Creighton with McDermott, and then we played Ohio. But that might drive them to just kind of sit back and be like, hey, look, we're not as good as we think we are. They are banged up. The only thing I don't like about Houston is if you look at the last 20 champions or so, the only team that fits their style of play, pace-wise and everything, is the UVA team that Coach Bennett had that won it. Yeah. And so that's kind of scary because that means a lot of teams that play like that haven't won the whole thing. So I'm going to go with Marquette and a healthy, reinvigorated Tyler Kolek coming in, running the show, because he is Marquette. And to see them actually play that well without him kind of opened my eyes a little bit to them as a team. And they probably got a lot more confidence as well from playing that well without him.
Let me tell you about our newest partner for the month of March, SplashSports, the home of certified community competition, where you get to play against your friends and not the house. Whatever game it is that you are playing, from survivors to tiers to pick X, the safest way to play for real money without the hassle of having to track down deposits or worry about payments is through Splash. They have partnered with PaySafe, the best deposit and payment system in the world, to ensure that money stays in safe hands and is delivered to the right places. To join the Field of 68 Survivor Madness, click the link in our profile below and join in. Entries are $5 a pop with a prize pool of up to $4,500. Winner take all.
Yeah, I'm with Henson. It's almost like, Jeff, like, did we forget about Marquette? And they made the run.
A little bit.
And that was, I mean, they were competitive versus UConn. I mean, Shaka's over there in his defensive stance, fist pumping and getting the crowd going. Coach Hurley's over there fist pumping, pointing at Shaka or pointing at somebody during the game. I mean, it was so good. It was electric, and that's I thought it was awesome. Like, and that's not a knock on either coach. That's good for college basketball. So, Jeff, I'm with you on Kentucky, but that second round game against who I think is going to be Texas Tech, I think they're going to play Texas Tech, and Texas Tech played in the best league in the country. Grant McCaslin has done an unbelievable job. I think if Kentucky gets past Tech, I think they get to the Final Four. I think that's
they're not losing to Tech. They're not losing to Tech. I don't think so. And I love Pop Isaacs. I just don't think Texas Tech's got enough.
But I think that's the game. If they can, I feel like, just because I think it's going to be an extremely physical game, and if Kentucky somehow gets in this grinded out game with Tech and they win it, it's going to be like, give them some confidence where I don't care if it's Marquette, if it's Florida, whoever it is. And Florida took a shot. I mean, that's an emotional deal for your team to deal with what happened today. I mean, that was –
But Jeff,
and we didn't see it. It's like I'm glad the camera turned off because we didn't want to see what happened. Yeah. But I think if they can get past Tech, I think they'll beat Marquette if that's who they end up playing. And I think – Houston too, like you said, that was a bad game yesterday. And you look at Kentucky with how they can space it out, drive it, kick it, and play. I think that Texas Tech game is going to give them confidence to boost them to the Final Four.
So Jeff, no team outside of, like, I don't know the specific numbers, but wherever Kentucky's in efficiency, no team has ever won it. So when are they going to lose?
I'm not saying they're going to win it. I'm not picking them to win it, John.
The best month of the year is here, which is why you need to know that we are now partnered with BetMGM. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we'll have special offers for the listeners and the viewers of the Field of 68 all through the NCAA tournament. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, you can use the bonus code FIELD, and you will get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM, regardless of whether or not that bet hits. Here's the best part. All you need to do is deposit and bet $10 of your hard-earned money. This is how you make it work. Download the BetMGM app and sign up using the bonus code FIELD. Deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you get up to $1,500 in bonus bets, regardless of the outcome of your bet. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Most importantly, we do have some fun stuff coming for the conference tournaments and especially for the NCAA tournament. Bet insurance tokens, college hoops odds boost, and what I love the most, a nice parlay boost for anything you could possibly imagine betting on in the NCAA tournament, from odds and getting an at-large bid to Final Four futures to the highest seed to make to the Sweet 16. I'm calling it right now. BetMGM is the king of the prop bet for your March Madness needs. So go download the BetMGM app, use the code FIELD, and sign up today. And while I've got you, a quick request: the best way to support the Field of 68 and our content you get for free is to engage with us. Rate and review the pod, like and share the YouTube videos, tell your friends about us. It helps in a world where the algorithm is king.